Hello, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Joe Chapman, also known as Little Juggernaut. I am one of the direct descendants of Jack Johnson. I am a professional artist and fighter. I started my career fighting in underground bare knuckle fight clubs. I want to share my passion of combat sports, history, the arts, as well as hanging out with celebrities at the biggest events. I will be your guide into history, and you can see the events through my eyes. I will be your memorabilia artist. Ever forget when BKFC showed up on my radar. It was the day after the Jason Knight and Artem Lowball fight. Oh my God. I watched the highlights of that and I fell in love with the sport. I just completely fell in love. It was amazing. I had never seen anything like that. And from there, I was completely hooked.
I watched the Jason Knight Lowball 1, and I saw Rusty fight on the card, and I'm like, oh my God, that's like, I love MMA. And I mean, I started out as a wrestler, but I'm like, I need to do that.
You know, everything about it, from the experiences with fans cheering to hearing that crack when knuckle meets bone and flesh, like you hear it echo through the entire venue, no matter how big or small it is, no matter how quiet or loud the crowd is.
You know, with bare knuckle, we start at the scratch line, so we're right here. You know what I mean? So it's not one guy on this side and one guy on that side, and they gotta meet. You know what I mean? It's like we start right here. You know what I mean? So it's like ding and then boom, action.
So for me, that was the special. Being able to see the blood and the spit splatter, being able to hear the crack of the knuckles and the flesh. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, but yeah, man. So I just believe that people are attached to a pastime that is brought into the future, and you know, baggy jeans come out and they go out. Skinny jeans come in and they go out. And people love nostalgia, and bare knuckles nostalgia, and it's a pure sport.
Oh, man.
It never disappoints. Like every event is like nonstop action, from the preliminaries to the main event. It's not. It's rarely a situation. I haven't seen any situation to where the crowd is getting uneasy because the fights are boring.
The word is spreading. The fights are entertaining. The price point is absolutely unbelievable, and you will not be disappointed with the fights. You just won't. I mean, every fight is just, and it's crazy because in this sport, when you just have your hands to throw, it's anyone's game.
If you walk away from your TV or walk away from ringside for a few minutes, you can come back and the same thing's still going on. You can't do that in bare knuckle. You can't walk away. You can't turn away for a second. And I mean, you know what happens if you do? You miss the knockout of the night. You miss this monster shot, or these guys on top of each other, and it's just nonstop.
You're not just paying to go watch the names fight. Some of the best fights you'll ever see are between guys you've never heard of, and it's just the dog that's in there. It's the dog that comes out of people when they're hitting bare knuckle, and there's no other substitute for it. I mean, you could go pay $4 a month, and you could watch every single bare knuckle event and watch people get down. You know, our sport is not about winning. Our sport is about entertaining, and you cannot win without being entertaining, and that's just the way the rules are set up. And,
we're savages right now. Want to be on top. We want to win. We're all trying to knock each other out. All of us. You know, we're all trying to get that highlight reel. So it's just a dope. It's just a dope energy.
I mean, we want to fight. We're men, and people want to see these fights, these gladiators. You have to have a group of people that's willing to believe they're the baddest in the world on this planet.
Yeah, bare knuckle is still a fight. People come out there to show the toughest guy in the world, and that's something I love about it. And that's what keeps me excited. I think it gets a lot of people excited. People want to watch this sport because people come to fight.
Okay,
Well, look what you're getting for what it's costing you. For the price of a cup of coffee, okay? Price of a cup of coffee, what you get in that 1 month is just unlimited stuff. You can go back and watch BKFC 1. You can go back and see behind the scenes. You can watch the road to Knuckle Mania, the road to this event, to that event, and get to see the behind the scenes. You get to see all the toe-of-the-line fights. You get to see the Thailand fights. And as we expand, as bare knuckle gets bigger and bigger, man, there's going to be fights every week on this. So for $4.99, it's first thing. Let's leave with what's costing you. It's the best sport in the world to watch.
The way they promoted it, Paige was on that show. I feel like that Knuckle Mania show, I think, put bare knuckle over the top. So I mean, I feel like the exposure, the marketing, the hype, the fighters. I mean, you had a huge card, and then you had some huge signings, and I feel like that at that moment with that production I think it was in Miami. So that production with that stage, you know, put bare knuckle on the map. I think that was the turning point for them to continue to keep growing. So
Knuckle Mania 1 was such a big event is because it was like right even in the name Knuckle Mania. You knew this was something different about it. This wasn't just regular BKFC 10, 20, whatever. It was Knuckle Mania. And it was evident because it was like the best card we've had. We just had nothing but great fights on there, great fighters. You know, had the big long runway. Just the production was better, the event was bigger, and there was great fights on too. That always helps when you have great fights on. You know, you couldn't put on the card. You never know what's really going to happen.
The entire card from beginning to end, with Quentin Henry versus Levin and then Hart versus Paige Van Zandt, like just from beginning to end, that whole card was phenomenal. So, again, another one of my favorites, Starling took on Segala. That right there, I was like, oh my God, I love this sport.
Well, Paige coming, I feel like Paige coming was a big deal. Their biggest name that they had to date. You know, and I was at Knuckle Mania 1. So it just had a whole bunch of big names. And it was such a great event, and it's their first large event that they went over the top with. So it was super exciting.
One of the big ones was obviously, Bret Hart versus Paige Van Zandt, because coming in with just all the hype, everybody was so excited about Paige. And I could tell Bret felt slighted, and she's like, man, I'm the veteran here. I don't know what's going on, and she was, and she proved it, and she showed it, and just that emotional level of what she wanted to do was able to accomplish. I think inspired a lot of people and made it say, man, this is a different sport. I think it really turned a lot of people on to it.
And then Britain Hart, this boxer that nobody knew who she was, and come in and be such a story. It created inspiration. It created odds from other places, and it did it for my company. So it made us grow. I mean, look where we're at. We're Knuckle Mania 2. We have Triller that has 65 million subscribers and viewers. Add to how many other 30, 40 million people across the world that are assigned to the BKFC app in Russia.
But the situation in Knuckle Mania with you is like 100%. I remember and know it because I remember I got it and I was looking at it, and I feel like for the first time in my life, I really felt like somebody.
Isn't that cool? That's mommy. They made it for me. Isn't it? Yeah, so it's better. Somebody burned it. They burned it into wood. Look at that. We'll talk about it later, okay? We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. What? Where you gonna hang that up? I'm gonna hang it up somewhere, but it's gonna be somewhere where everyone can see. It's gonna be everywhere. I got some other stuff I'm gonna hang up too.
Yeah, and I'll keep it, like I have it, and I have another one too, so I have two now, and they're side by side, and in plain sight in my house every day, and
man, it's pretty cool, especially for guys like me who are just like nobodies, whether you want to say I'm somebody or not. I don't act like it or walk around and say, just to feel like you're worthy of even being put on somebody's art is a pretty cool deal, like I said, it's just surreal along with a lot of this other stuff,
I want to take you back in time, maybe about a couple weeks before Knuckle Mania 1, just to see my mindset when I was actually creating the table. Well, I'm extremely excited about finishing this table. It seems like I've been working on this non-stop, like every day. As soon as I get out of work, I've been working on this a lot of times until I go to bed. You know, I still have a normal 9 to 5. I love my job. I work at JBS. I work in the laboratory, but this is something I would love to do full time. So as of right now, you know, when I get out of work, you know, sometimes I work 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and I will literally work until I go to bed. It's the middle of winter, and of course I can't like burn with the torch in my house. So we have like a little garage outside that I actually have to burn to use the torch. So it's cold. I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can, but it's certain things that I actually want to like literally use a blowtorch to burn into the table to just give it a little bit more of a unique look. So I have to come out here in the freezing cold in the middle of winter and add those like little touches that I can't do in the house because of course I don't want to burn down the house. So yeah, this is what we do. This is a little sacrifice of what you have to do for good art. You know, you have to do it. It has a certain look that I want it to look like. You know, I want all my pieces to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. You know, I take value and I take pride in all of my work. So here we go. We're getting ready. The awesome thing about this table as well is I actually have a patent on this art. It's called the Chapman art, and it glows in the dark. This specific table has it's like a treasure map under black light. It has a whole fight card on the table, so you can literally, if you have a black light, you can literally move it around the table and you can see the whole fight card on the table. It's never been any piece of art made like this. These legs got signed by some of the greats: Jim Alliers, Julian Lane, Reggie Barnett, Christine Misfit, Quentin Henry, Chris Lieben, Dat Dwyen, Johnny Bedford, John Chaubeck, Bret Hart, Chinny Savage, Travis Thompson, Luis Palomino, Paul Malignaggi, Anthony Pettis, Chris Liddell, and Ulysses Diaz. So many world champions, so many superstars. This table is literally a piece of history. I wanted to get all the fighters to sign that table, to sign the legs, because I feel like as an artist you want to make something of value. You know, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you will know who exactly was at that event, and that's what I was going for. And thank goodness David Feldman and the BKFC crew allowed me to get the fighters to sign the legs. So that is a piece of history. That's not just an art piece, it's actually a piece of history, and I feel like that brings the value of that art piece to a completely different level.
I have seen that table. You are a phenomenal artist.
Over the last couple years, I've did a lot of work for fighters for bare knuckle, but 3/19/21 is a very, very, very important day for me specifically. It was a fight in Biloxi, Mississippi, and Joe Elmore, I did a piece for him, Leonard Garcia, they were the main event. That was ironically the night that my son was born. I had no idea that he was my son until like a few months ago. So the night that I gave Joe Elmore and Leonard Garcia their pieces and a few other bare knuckle fighters was literally the night my son was born. I had no idea that he was born until like a few months ago, and ever since then, like, he has been like glued to my heart. I love my son dearly, so that's gonna be a future episode that is extremely important to me. So God, just thinking about it, it just, I don't even know what to say. But here's what Joel Moore thinks about the piece that I did for him.
So, right here.
Love that.
Whenever my big knockout against Will Choke in the fight we discussed earlier.
Yes.
This is one of my favorite things I've ever got.
It's great. Nobody's else doing anything like it at all. And I think when guys hear through the grapevine that you've got one of your pieces there, and that there's a chance that they're getting it, you know, to take on, it's like bringing home a belt. It really is. It's beautiful work, and you can tell the time and heart that you've put into it. You know.
Well, thank you very much.
I don't care if you're the most famous artist in the world or someone who just picked it up. You did that for me and made me feel that special. I posted it because it was a special moment for me, and then that's when I feel like me and you really connected, and it's cool because sport and art combined together brought us together, and now I feel like I know so much more about you on a personal level rather than just being an artist or someone that a friend introduced me to, and it really is something that I think hopefully we both remember. I know I will remember for a lifetime.
This was one of the most viral moments from Knucklemania 1. This was the push heard around the world. This is when Paige, she pushed Brit Hart during weigh-ins, and Brit was not playing. She wanted to go right there. It was very interesting. I was standing literally right next to Misfit when this was going down, and Paige, she kind of smiled, and Brit, she was really, really upset. But hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people seen that push.
You know, I really felt like I was in good hands. My coach didn't really tell me what the game plan was, but as practices and training went, I would see that everything he did was for the game plan. So when you see the Paige fight, I remember being in there. It was a super exciting moment for me. Being in the ring and being able to consciously think, oh wow, I worked on this in camp. We're prepared for this. That's exactly what coach showed me. That's exactly what we thought was gonna happen. And it was such an awesome moment in the ring to be able to do that, because it was like that. In the ring, it was exactly what she did. It was like, oh, here's the answer. When she did something, oh, here's the answer. But oh, this is open. So
Knucklemania 2, the Britain Beltran and Christine Fair. That's actually the fight that I'm most anticipating on.
And the Britain Hart fight and Christine Ferreira, that fight's gonna be so crazy. And I think people are really sleeping on that fight because Britain Hart was the underdog her whole entire life, and she lost to Christine Ferreira before, and she's been proving herself day in and day out, and she's been fighting like the best boxers and the best UFC vets, big names now, and I feel like she's starting to get her shine. So I think she's out going to prove why she deserves to be in this sport and why she deserves to become world champion. But Christine Ferreira, she's a beast. She's tough, you know, and she's very dominant. And I think there's gonna be a lot of blood in that fight.
That's a rematch, but I think both people are in a different place than the first time. I think Ferreira, she's tasted defeat, and I think it's kind of made her refocus herself. She's been injured, refocused, very dedicated, and definitely wants to be the best. But Britt's she's a dog out there, man. The last couple of fights, even people who are really good, really technical, she's just gonna find a way to get the job done. And
Christine trains like nobody else. Christine trains hardcore every day. So how do you fight that? Now, Britain's done nothing but improve. Britain looks like a different fighter. So it's going to be a different fight. But at the end of the day, man, it's they don't like each other, and I think you've got the fans divided right on this one.
It's also the first female rematch. There's not been any rematch in the female division, and I think it's kind of exciting because there's been a few male rematches, and so this is worthy of a rematch. I think that we both are deserving of it as far as we have the most experience, hands down.
I mean, in the end, David Feldman gave his two, who started with him, the chance to be the champion. You know, he gave us our shot, gave me my shot, told me I deserved it. It was dope. You know what I mean? So.
And, you know, whatever. So after the fight, I'm pissed because I'm like, I hate this girl from all the bullying she did. And then, you know, she came up to me and was super nice. Like, whoa, she was totally different than her online persona. She was nice, like, whatever. And I was like, oh, and, you know, I believe in good sportsmanship. Took a picture with her. Life goes on.
Because I actually met Britt through Christine. I met them in Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi, a couple years ago. Actually, Christine introduced me to Britt, and at the time, Christine had a broken arm. So it's crazy that they have this huge rivalry and this huge beef because, you know, when I met them, they were actually really good friends. So it kind of threw me off when you know they decided to go to war and like all this drama happened. I was like, whoa. Because I met them as friends, you know, so it kind of threw me off. Like, I did not see that coming, you know?
She gets hurt, and I think the moment you're talking about when she introduced me to you, her arm was in a sling. And so she, you know, was going through this, and again, being super supportive, like, oh, you'll get back in there, whatever. And then I got the Paige fight. So she says, hey, come out. I'll train you. Training with you is a bad idea because we're in the same division. So I'm not going to do that. So when I went and chose to go to California, all of a sudden, Britain's going to get her ass booked, Paige is going to beat her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm seeing that. And I mean, I'm instantly, like, I'm that type of girl. I'm not going to go to social media and make a bunch of memes about you and screenshot shit. I'm going to go straight to you and be like, what is the deal? Like, what's your problem? And she was like,
when she fought her, I was like, I want Paige to win, so fight her. And then Britt flipped out on me and like was like, oh, you're not my friend. You said you wanted me to lose. I was like, no, it's not like I want you to lose. I want to fight you. I want to fight Paige. I thought for Britt, you know what I mean? I did. Like I was her friend. I was up there for her, like low key, like trying to mentor her, trying to in the right direction, had her back.
There's definitely no love lost between Christine and Britt. I don't necessarily think that they will ever be friends again, but I know that they respect each other, and I feel like that's what's important. I know they respect each other as competitors, and at one point they were friends, you know. I don't know how much hard feelings they have with each other, you know. Who knows? But I know that there's definitely respect. I mean, when you fight a human being 2 times, you gotta have respect for him. You know, I'm a fighter, so I feel like if I fought somebody twice, win, lose, or draw, I would definitely have respect for them. Just saying. So I'm pretty sure they have a respect for each other still.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the Christine fight and the Britain Hart fight. You know.
I love female combat sports, so I will say, like, the 2 female fights on that event were my 2 favorites. And that's just, you know, again, because I'm biased. I like the female fighters better. I think they bring on a bigger show. I think the crowd gets louder with them. I think the energy is just higher with them. For whatever reason, there's just more at stake.
I'm not sure what's the animosity between those guys. I personally feel like Julian Lane is a guy whoever is fighting, he has to dislike them to fight him. And when I'm chatting with him, he's been nothing but nice to me. But other people, it seems like every time he's going to fight him, he gets into it with them. And I don't know if he's doing that to make himself, to get himself hyped up, or what he's trying to do. But I feel like, you know, he definitely has that. Some people fight better when they dislike somebody. Some people fight worse. I think he's one of the guys who fights better. So he finds a way to make him not like him. And you know, I'm sure Mike Perry's view, he's like, man, piss on this guy, he's coming in, you know, I'm the big alpha here, and this guy's kind of come to steal my thunder. Ain't gonna happen. So I think they actually, you know, they don't like each other much, and we're gonna see what happens, and they're both gonna try to knock each other head off.
Some of these interviews were shot before Knuckle Mania 2, and some of them were shot after. I'm not going to tell you who won. If you want to see who won these fights, you got to download the app. You got to download the app. I can't just give it away for you. So if you want to find out who won these fights, definitely go download the app and check it out yourself.
What happened was, me and Julian and a bunch of people went to the Circle Bar, the Hard Rock, and he's like, "There's Mike Perry." So he's like, "I should go up to him." I'm like, "Absolutely, bro. You should definitely go up to Mike Perry and have a conversation. I mean, the fight's over. You guys did your thing. You know, I think it's cool that you guys, you know, just say what's up and, you know, kind of, you know, squash whatever was, you know, you guys fought already. You guys had a great fight." So I feel like that sportsmanship. So I was like, "Julian, let's go." So Julian went over to him, and they just kind of like, you know, said their couple of words, like, you know, "I appreciate it. You know, I was just trying to get the fight." You know how it is, sportsmanship. You know, so it was good, man. They definitely they listen. The funny part about Julian and Mike is, whatever anybody says about them, I know Julian really well. They're the same person. Julian and Mike are very, very similar. I'm telling you right now. That's why even Julian's friends that are close to him said, after the fight, those guys are going to be friends, because they're just similar personalities, man. They just like to bang it out and then have a good time. So it was
at
really
BKFC, cool, it's so many celebrities just walking around. It's people who, you know, I'll watch videos of, or I've watched them on TV for years, and then when you see them in person, it's just like, oh my goodness. One of the best stories that I personally have is, it was at Knuckle Mania, and Bret Hart and Paige Van Zandt were getting ready to fight. I literally, I went up to Shaq, and I did a portrait of him and Kobe, and I gave it to him, and he had me actually sign a portrait, which I thought was awesome, you know. And then I gave him a little piece of a board, and I was like, "Shaq, can you sign this board?" And he said yes. So he signed it for me, and I said, "I want to do a Shaq table." And he was like, "Okay, let's see what you can do." So in a future episode, you will definitely see a Shaq table. So that's one of a piece of memorabilia that I will never forget. Literally, when Bret Hart and Paige, I think it was actually when Paige was walking out, that's when Shaq signed that piece. So very soon you're gonna see a Shaq table from me. I'm beyond excited. And the thing is, without Bare Knuckle, I would have never got that opportunity. Well,
you know, I guess this puts it in perspective now when you say celebrities and fanboy and that type of stuff. Day one when I walked in down to Cancun, and I'm standing beside Chris Lytle, and I'm like, holy crap, and Tony Lopez, you know, OG, and you know the names that they brought in, you know, Stitch, the best cut man in the business, being around those type of people, and you're going, this is real. This company is for real. They're not only bringing the right people in. Now that they've been up and running for a little bit, people are seeing what it's all about. It's drawing everybody. I don't care what sport you play, what star level you're at. You're coming to watch this sport. So
okay, when I went up to Shaquille O'Neal was in the building, right? I was like, holy shit, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm fangirl or you know, I don't over anybody. I don't care. Like, but Shaquille O'Neal, I was like, bro, I gotta hide him. So I went over. I was like, "Hey, Shaq, you know, my name's Misfit Christine." He's like, "I know who you are." I was like, "You know who I am?" Like, why do you know who I am? My name, I'm a peasant. Dude, like, how do you know? And I was just like, he like stopped me in my tracks when he said that. And I was like, okay, let's just get a picture. I gotta get out of here.
Be in a room. I actually have a video of Shaq. He's on. I come into the bathroom, and I didn't say nothing to him. On the way out of the bathroom as I'm walking in, he goes, "Hey, Hitman." And I was like, "Oh, bro, you know who I am?" And he goes, "Of course I do." And I was like, "Wow, man." I was like, "Dude, you're one of my favorite fighters in the whole world." I was like, "Dude, you were such the man, you know?" And he's like, "Well, you're going to be a champ too." And I was like, "Do you mind saying that on video?" And I have a little recording of hey, this is Shaq Diesel here with Joe Hitman Elmore, future champ of BKFC. I can't wait. And hey, look, I'm not gonna lie, I just had a whole fanboy face. And I was like, thank you, I love you, Shaq. He said, love you too. And like, to me, I'm like, Shaq just said, I love you. Who the hell am I? Like,
yeah, where Britain fought Pearl, I believe. The Big Show was there. And I sat elbow to elbow with him. It was it wasn't Pearl. It was Savage. Big Show was there. The Big Show. And I'm a long time, that was my first love of combat sports was WWE, watching it as a kid with my dad. So being able to like sit shoulder to shoulder with him, and I was like, hey, look everybody. That was really exciting. You know what I mean? I'll never get another opportunity.
My dream as an artist is to have a sea of bare knuckle tables, to where when people sit VIP, they're looking down at all my tables in the VIP area that I made for bare knuckle. That is my hope. That is my dream. That is my goal. I want to do portraits for all the fight of the nights, and the knockout of the nights. That's just my goal as an artist. I want people all over the world to hang my art in their house. I want celebrities to have my artwork in their house. So this show is literally a dream come true to me. So thank you very much for watching the show, and trust me, my art is only gonna get better. Levels are only gonna get higher, and bare knuckle is only gonna get bigger. I mean, I'm very excited for the future. Thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait until next episode. I got a lot more to show you. So tune in, and if you have not already downloaded the BKFC app, do it now. It is so worth it. I mean, it's literally a cup of coffee, and you get so much content. So thank you, and until next time.